SMT Nation, we back. Nation, I want to take a deep dive into the Verizon Q2 earnings for 2023. I want to look at kind of how the things with respect to their core business are going. I want to look at the momentum. I want to look at the growth vectors. I want to look at their successes and where they're struggling. And I want to just kind of look at the overall health of their position within the market, within the industry. And we're going to look at their core business operations and make that evaluation. All right, so we covered the news on the earnings, and now we're going to kind of deep dive. I'm going to do a couple of dedicated videos for a couple things that I think are very important. So I want to start first with the core business in today's video. Link for the infographic will be in the description. You guys can check it out. I'll put the press release or whatever from Verizon. Also in the description is the real SMT Buy Me Coffee link. If you want to support your creators directly, show your appreciation for the content, that's one way to do it. Buy us a coffee. You can also use some of the other things that are down there for additional supports. Also, if you're looking for a really good deal on wireless service, look no further than mmWave. They've got great deals right now. I still see the deflation promo pricing is still up there on the page. Use our partner link, mintmobile.com/sneed. Take advantage of the offers. Get that legendary customer care with that great value. Simply use our partner link. It's in the description. All right, so here's where I want to go with this, right? I want to take a look at what Verizon is doing well to start things off. Their strength, surprisingly, maybe shockingly, I say, it's just, to me, it's just welcomed, because their broadband net adds have been on the ascension. They've been doing very well. Dedication to the core business of being a broadband provider with respect to two business segments. Verizon has fixed wireless access 5G home internet, and they have Verizon FiOs. Now, the Verizon FiOs is fiber to the premise, and that business for them is a smaller portion of what they do. Most of what Verizon does is wireless. All right, so there's going to be a discrepancy in the magnitude of the ads. But I will say that if you take a look at the FiOs business, right, going back to Q2 of last year, we see growth, right? 12,000 net adds, 35,000, 37, 44, and 34, respectively. Those are good numbers for a business segment that, in my opinion, is viewed as ancillary, secondary. It's not their main core business, right? They have a limited distribution, mostly on the East Coast, right? And within specific markets. And they don't expand the service to a great magnitude. So those numbers are probably always going to be pretty low. But it's good to see that positive growth is there and more people are taking to the service, whether it's because of pricing or their reliability of the service, which has been very good according to NPS scores. Now, where things have really kicked off for them is the broadband net adds with respect to fixed wireless access 5G home. Now, this coincides with C-band build, right? N77, right? Their new wireless network asset that is, currently between like a 60 to 100 megahertz channel bandwidth. That's going to get faster. The service is going to get more capacitive as they get more sites upgraded and more bandwidth on air. And you're seeing that the uptake, the additions, is increasing every quarter. 256,000 in Q2 of 2022, which was the first quarter Verizon had C-band live for a full quarter. Remember, they launched in mid to late January of 2022. So, that was their first quarter of having it for the full quarter. Then 342,000, 379, 393, and then 384. That is a very solid run, folks. That is very good. So the 5G home, along with the FiOs, this is showing us strength. And these numbers, I don't know the breakdown between business versus home for the fixed wireless access, but typically what we see is like 250,000. I would say that probably 55 to 65% of the net adds are on the residential or the consumer, and then the other maybe 100 and some odd thousand are from business. All right, safe to say that. Now, that is a strength. They got problems in other business segments, right? But that one, broadband net adds, is a strength. Also a strength, but becoming lesser of a strength, is business wireless. If you look at the trajectory, we've got a steady decline, right? A dip. So Q2 of 2022, Verizon's business side for postpaid phone net adds was 227,000. 4 consecutive quarters not getting back to 200,000. But they are solid net adds. 197,000, 176, 136, and then 144. So we see a dip, comparing year over year for Q2. But again, the business wireless saves the day, because without these net adds, the total net adds for the quarter would have been negative. Analysts were predicting 150,000 net add losses. Turns out to be about plus 8,000 or plus 10,000 total, and that's because the business side saved the day again. Which takes us to consumer wireless, which is an absolute train wreck. Q2 2022 minus 215,000. Q3 2022 minus 189,000. They had 41,000 net adds in Q4, and likely because of holiday shopping, right? Minus 263,000 for Q1 of 23, minus 136,000 for Q2 of 23. So you could say, well, they lost less compared to year over year, right? They lost less compared to last quarter. You could call those little wins, but we're still in the red. We're still losing here, folks. And of course, they just changed the plans, right? They went with the My Plan setup, which they said was going to be net add accretive, ARPU accretive. All right, I don't know if Q2 was technically a full quarter with the change, but this may not indicate good things. So they got problems in consumer wireless. Big cable grows, T-Mobile grows, AT&T grows, right? So again, a weakness that continues to be a weakness. So we have trends. Business continues to be a strength. Broadband net adds continue to be a strength. Consumer wireless continues to be an extreme weakness at the company, which is their core business. And lastly, last but not least, prepaid net adds, also an absolute train wreck. Since acquiring TracFone, we have seen nothing but problems and losses. Q2 2022 minus 229,000. Q3 2022 plus 39,000. That was encouraging. Back to losses in Q4 of 22 at minus 175. Q1 of 23 minus 351. Q2 of 23 minus 304. So we are accelerating losses. TracFone is an absolute dumpster fire with respect to prepaid net adds. They acquired over 20 million subscribers in that deal. And indications would now say, based on this math, they have lost over 1 million subscribers from TracFone. So you paid for over 20 million, you're probably now under 20 million, right? Because of the losses. I don't know what's going on there. It could be a combination of, device compatibility issues, moving people along from different SIMs like the AT&T and T-Mobile network access, getting them Verizon if the phones weren't unlocked or whatever. I don't know. There could be a bunch of that. Brand consolidation is a thing that we're monitoring. But you don't want to lose the customers you paid for, right? $6-7 billion transaction, I believe. I know it was some stock in there and some cash, to American Mobile or whatever. But extreme weakness in prepaid. Extreme weakness in consumer wireless. Good strength in business wireless. And in my opinion, the shining star is broadband. Those net adds look great and phenomenal. This company is a very mixed bag when it comes to their core business. The thing that's most concerning is consumer wireless is their most profitable business segment, and it is their most problematic, right? So they have to address these things. And Sampath, who is their new CEO of the business, of their consumer segment, he's being tasked with this, and there's no indications of things turning around right away. I don't know. He's been there since January or something like that this year, it was like a few months ago. But that's not a good quarter. So nothing to say right now about turnarounds. Nothing indicated there. So it seems like more problematic, segments within the business that they have to address. We'll see what they talk about here. I know that, the perception at Verizon is, we build out C-band really great. We make this incredible network, and then people are going to take to our plans. Not according to consumer wireless numbers. And the new plan structure is going to be ARPU accretive, net add accretive, not according to the numbers. So the thing about it is, folks, the numbers don't lie. Any CEO, any executive can say whatever they want, but the numbers don't indicate what they're telling us. So that's what we do here on the SMT. We call a spade a spade. Weakness is not being addressed. The weaknesses still remain at Verizon. The strengths remain their strengths, right? So nothing turned around yet, but what do you guys think? Tell me about your perception of these numbers, what they tell you, what they mean. What do you think Verizon's got to do to get things turned around in those weakness areas? You think there's things they could do to improve their strengths as well? Comment down below. Let's do hashtag Verizon for all the real ones out there, and appreciate that. And comment down below your thoughts and opinions. You are the voice of the people, the SMT Nation. Let your voice be heard.